Welcome, tech enthusiasts, to episode 252 of Future Forward. I'm Mark, your guide to all things innovation.
And I'm Jenny, ready to explore the exciting and sometimes, well, a little quirky world of tech with you. Mark, I've got a feeling today is gonna be good.
Oh, Jenny, it's gonna be stellar. We're diving deep into something that's really shaking up the logistics and manufacturing world, Robust.AI's Carter platform. We're talking robots that can pretty much do it all, like, seriously.
Right? I saw the headlines. Multifunctional warehouse automation. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? But it's happening now, which is kind of wild.
Exactly. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't heard, Robust.AI, a San Francisco-based company, has just heavily expanded the capabilities of their Carter robot platform. When I say expanded, I mean it's gone from doing a few things well to being a legitimate multi-tool in the warehouse. We're talking fulfillment picking, point-to-point transport, even mobile sorting wall functions, all from one robot base. Imagine that.
One robot? So, they don't need a different bot for every single task? That sounds like a big deal for warehouses trying to constantly restructure and adapt, especially with the e-commerce waves, right?
You hit the nail on the head, Jenny. That's the software-defined part of it. Think about it. Traditionally, if you wanted a robot to pick things, you'd buy a picking robot. If you wanted one to move pallets, you bought a different kind of robot. Robust.AI's Carter can switch between those tasks with just a software update. It's like having transformer robots, but for logistics.
So, 1 minute it's organizing your socks, the next it's, running a marathon? Okay, maybe not that, but still. That kind of versatility, without buying new hardware, must be a substantial cost saver, and just make things so much easier.
A substantial cost saver, and a clear benefit for adaptability. Warehouses, especially with the e-commerce boom, are constantly dealing with unpredictable demand spikes. The ability to instantly reconfigure your robot fleet's purpose? That helps efficiency in a meaningful way.
I can see that. And they're already seeing impressive results, right? I heard something about DHL, a big number.
Oh, Jenny, this is the part that really makes my inner data nerd sing. At DHL Supply Chain's Las Vegas facility, they recorded a 60% productivity boost. On day one, think about that. You plug it in, and immediately, your picking operations are over 60% more efficient. That's not just a small bump, that's a significant jump.
A 60% leap? That's a lot. How do they even verify a number like that? Sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it?
It's a great question, and it's why these numbers stand out. They weren't just throwing figures around. The metrics were validated by third-party auditors. Plus, Robust.AI used advanced statistical modeling, specifically ARIMA models, to filter out things like seasonal demand changes. So, they effectively isolated the impact of the robots themselves. They did their homework.
Okay, that's reassuring. So it's not just a good vibes metric. And what does that translate to in actual money, do we know?
Well, their projections show monetized savings exceeding $14 million a year at scale. That's a serious return on investment for companies looking to automate, especially considering the initial outlay.
Wow. So with results like that, I imagine they're going to need a lot more robots. How are they planning to meet that kind of demand? Are they building a massive robot factory as we speak?
This is another smart move. Robust.AI has strategically partnered with Foxconn, yes, that Foxconn, to supercharge their production. They're targeting a 300% year-over-year output growth, aiming for more than 10,000 units monthly by late 2025. Yeah, that's a lot of robots.
Foxconn. That's substantial. They make everything, don't they? That partnership not only signals confidence in Carter, but also gives Robust.AI considerable leverage in terms of supply chain and scaling. No more waiting years for your robot fleet, I guess.
Exactly. Foxconn's global footprint and supply chain resilience effectively mitigates geopolitical and material risks that can plague smaller manufacturing operations. It means Robust.AI can accelerate market penetration and really go head-to-head with some of the bigger, more traditional automation rivals. It's a power move.
So we have versatile robots, sky-high productivity, and extensive production capacity. But let's talk about the human element, because that's often where the friction happens with automation. What's Robust.AI's philosophy on robots taking jobs?
This is actually one of the parts one appreciates most about their approach. Robust.AI has a very clear human-robot symbiosis philosophy. Their CEO, Anthony Jules, often says, and I quote, "Robots empower people. They don't replace them." It's a good philosophy, but the proof is in the pudding, right?
That's a nice soundbite. But how does that play out in the actual operation? Is it just PR, or is there substance?
Great question. It's built into the design. For example, the Carter bots have force-sensitive controls, making them incredibly intuitive to work alongside. They're not just passive machines. They respond to human input in a very fluid way. There's also the zero downtime handoff system, which means the next task is queued up quickly, so workers aren't waiting around for the robot. They even claim it reduces worker fatigue by about 40% through optimized task flows. Which, if true, is a pretty big deal for those physically demanding warehouse jobs.
40% less fatigue? That's significant. It actually sounds like they're trying to make the job better, not just faster. Are there safety aspects built into that symbiosis as well? Because working side by side with robots, you need to feel safe.
Absolutely. It's designed to share workspace safely, which is crucial for collaborative robots. They emphasize clear visual cues and intuitive interfaces. It's about blending human dexterity with robotic efficiency, treating the robot as a tool that enhances a worker's capabilities. Think of it like a really smart, strong assistant.
I get it. But, Mark, playing devil's advocate for a moment here. Despite the claims of human-robot symbiosis, there's still a deep-seated fear about automation and job displacement. McKinsey, for example, has projected that up to 30% of tasks in some sectors could be automated by 2030. Even if these robots make work easier, isn't there an underlying concern that fewer people will be needed in the long run?
That's a valid point, Jenny, and it's a conversation we need to have. The fear of job displacement isn't unfounded, especially in historically manual labor-intensive roles. While Robust.AI's approach aims to upskill workers and make jobs more engaging, the reality is that increased productivity through automation often means a shift in the workforce. It might not be outright replacement, but rather a need for different skills. More maintenance, more oversight, more data analysis related to these systems. The challenge then becomes how quickly and effectively we can retrain and reallocate human talent.
Right. So it's less about robots taking over and more about jobs evolving, which can still be a difficult transition for many. And what about over-reliance? If a warehouse becomes heavily dependent on these multifunctional bots, what happens if there's a major system glitch, a software bug, or even a cyber attack? Could an entire operation just grind to a halt?
Another excellent point. Any system with increased complexity introduces new vulnerabilities. Dependence on highly autonomous systems carries risks. Technical failures, cybersecurity vulnerabilities, especially with continuous software updates, or even supply chain delays for spare parts, could indeed bring operations to a standstill. That's why robust cybersecurity protocols and redundancy measures are so critical. It's not enough to just build smart robots. You need to build resilient systems around them. It's a continuous balancing act.
Makes sense. So, these multifunction robots are clearly making waves in warehouses. But beyond that, what other industries do you think could reap advantages from this kind of flexible automation? Where else do you see these Carters popping up?
Oh man, the possibilities are vast. Beyond just warehouses, I immediately thought of retail restocking. Think about those massive back rooms in big box stores, constantly needing replenishment. And then, surprisingly, healthcare. Imagine multifunction robots handling logistics within hospitals, delivering sterile supplies, transporting equipment, even helping with patient transfers in some instances. It's early days, but the potential is certainly there to improve efficiency and reduce strain on staff in demanding environments.
Healthcare logistics, that's really interesting. It has extensive, complex needs. What makes Carter particularly suited for these new environments, beyond just its multifunctionality? A hospital floor is very different from a warehouse.
Well, it comes back to that modular architecture and the software-defined nature. Because the core platform is so adaptable, it can be customized. You can essentially program it for sector-specific tasks without needing completely different hardware. And of course, the IoT telemetry that enables real-time fleet coordination is critical for any dynamic environment, whether it's a bustling warehouse, a complex hospital, or a sprawling retail store. Plus, the safety features designed for human collaboration are key in places like hospitals, where staff and patients are constantly moving.
So it's not just about what Carter can do today, but what it can become tomorrow, just by updating its software. That's a truly flexible system, designed for growth and adaptation.
Precisely. It's designed to evolve. This isn't just a point solution. It's a platform for continuous improvement and new applications. And I think that's why it's getting so much attention in the industry. It's laying groundwork, not just solving a single problem.
Definitely sounds like it. From boosting DHL's numbers to partnering with Foxconn for extensive scale, Robust.AI is positioning itself as a key player. And if they can effectively manage those human-centric transitions and potential vulnerabilities, that's truly a positive outcome.
Here's hoping, Jenny. Here's hoping. It's certainly a development we'll be keeping a close eye on. And we want to hear from you. Have you worked with robots? Do you see these flexible bots as a benefit or a concern? Let us know on social media. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
That's all for episode 252 of Future Forward. We'll catch you next time for more Tech Talk.